Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Xayah supplementary guide, and this is basically just an alternative build for Xayah. Of course, in my main build that I've covered in my updated complete guide, which was released yesterday, basically in that one, we basically took a look at this build, which basically involved not going for shieldbow at all, going for, of course, PD into quick blades, and then, of course, IE, and then Bloodthirster. But in this build, we are actually going to go for shieldbow. So when do you want to get this build? Basically, you want to start shieldbow first if there's a lot of bursts or assassins on the enemy team, and you kind of need that shieldbow shield to save your life. Now, in some cases, you have assassins, for example, let's say you have an Akali in the top lane, someone that you won't really meet until like the second dragon fight or something like that, or they take a little bit to scale up because not every assassin is strong at the beginning. Let's say Kha'Zix needs a couple of kills to get fed and one-shot you, that kind of thing. You can actually delay your shieldbow and instead go for a similar build, but something like this, where you go for PD and Navori first, and then you go for shieldbow as a third item, because shieldbow is normally not a very good first item because now the shield isn't very big, so it's not really the best first item. But in some games like the one you're going to see later, you kind of really need that shieldbow to survive, and in those cases you can go for it first item. Of course, you can also go for it second or third if you prefer. You can also go for something like this, where you go for like the Phantom Dancer into the shieldbow and then Navori later on. But personally, I would rather go for like shieldbow first and then into Navori and then into Phantom Dancer, because I feel Navori's second item is very important for getting your cooldowns back up faster. But anyways, obviously shieldbow obviously mainly for the shield. Also, you got physical vam, attack speed, crit, and AD. Of course, Navori, of course, you get ability haste as well as attack damage and crit, but it's mostly for the Death Strikes passive, which of course allows you to get your abilities up faster, which is gonna help you with getting more instances of your E, as well as, of course, getting your W off cooldown most of the time, and of course having that attack speed. And then, of course, we have Phantom Dancer for even more attack speed, as well as, of course, the movement speed passive, and also, of course, more AD and crit. And finally, you have IE, of course, to top it all off, which, of course, this will give you the boost in crit damage as well as AD and crit. Now, sometimes people actually like skipping IE and going straight into Bloodthirster. Now, personally, I'm still a believer in going for, of course, IE for the extra damage, so I do like going for IE, but Bloodthirster is also an option. Now, for the armor penetration, of course, more reminder, AD, armor pen, as well as, of course, the grievous wounds. And for the runes, Conqueror, because you already have enough attack speed from these three items, of course. And we have Hunter Vampirism for the lifesteal, as well as Bone Plating for the anti-burst. Can go for Perseverance in team comms that there's a lot of CC. Nimbus Cloak, simply because there isn't really a better option, even though you already have Ghost. And then for your spells, Ghost Flash, of course, goes for the kiting or the chase down. Or you could go for Exhaust if you need that. And with all that out of the way, let's jump straight into talking about our gameplay. Okay, so now moving on to the gameplay, of course. Now, I say this in all of my Xayah guides. Of course, I said it in the past video as well, and I say it in almost every Xayah video I make. But generally, you only really want to pick Xayah into teams that all run, like the champions want to run into you. This is one of the reasons why Xayah has a relatively low play rate, because into team comps that she's good against, she's absolutely amazing. However, into like general team comps, let's say if you're into a team comp that nobody wants to jump in at you. Let's say, for example, you have a Janna support, for example. You have a Caitlyn ADC, they don't want to jump at you. In mid lane, let's say you have an Orianna, she doesn't want to come at you. Let's say in the top lane you have Kayle doesn't want to come at you. And like in the jungle, I don't know, basically you get the general idea. You have people that don't really want to jump at you, and if you play Xayah into a team comp like that, you're going to have a really difficult time, because most of Xayah's damage actually comes from your E, which is the one that you pull back your feathers. And if they don't run at you, you know, you're not going to be able to pull back the feathers. So here I get caught by a Janna Tornado, gives Twitch a really good trade. Thankfully, Leona gets the stun in, and this causes Twitch to actually trade damage, and we end up actually winning the trade somehow despite getting hit by the tornado. And yeah, it's of course not really the best start to the game, but actually we kind of managed to equalize the situation. Either way, I'm gonna play safe and back, because Twitch has a lot of bursts, whereas Xayah, her burst is kind of conditional, where she has to rely on her feathers for bursts. So it's not really very immediate, whereas Twitch can expunge, so you gotta try to, of course, know the matchups as well. So yeah, so in this match, of course, we do have a lot of champions that want to jump in. Champions like Volibear, champions like Akali and Fizz as well. So really good value coming in from our Xayah here. Of course, the bot lane doesn't really want to jump in on us. They don't have an engage or anything like that, but you know, it's still fine. But yeah, and also in this match, we also go, of course, for the SHIELDBOW. Now, this is a really kind of quick match, and it's honestly nothing very impressive. Like, the Xayah video I released yesterday and the Xayah video I'm releasing later today is gonna be two very, very fun and interesting games of Xayah. But this one is, honestly, this game of Xayah is not really anything special. It's pretty standard, but the whole point of this, I wouldn't call it a series, but the whole point of this stack of videos where I did a Xayah basic guide followed by the updated complete guide where we covered the Phantom Dancer BF sword kind of start, and then of course now we are of course covering over here the SHIELDBOW start, and finally we're of course covering later on the Essence Reaver build. The reason why we're showing off all these builds is because I want to show you guys all the different ways Xayah can be built and the pros and cons of each of the builds. So this one's really just meant to highlight how SHIELDBOW is really good. So here, while we were talking about the different videos that we're making, we obviously saw here that Akali came in for a gank and we completely outplayed her and rooted her under the tower, which is why I mentioned that Xayah is so good into champions that want to go in. The moment Akali goes in, we get a beautiful root under the tower, and you know, she just dies, and we end up converting it into 3 kills, 2 for me and 1 for Twisted Fate. And yeah, so you can see that here we've completed SHIELDBOW as our first item because there's an insane amount of burst on the enemy team. We of course have Fizz, who has probably the most one-shot potential. We have Akali, who can easily one-shot us, especially if she gets fed. And Volibear, to a certain extent, also can just ult onto us, and you know, we could be in trouble here. So Xayah's safety of her ulti and her feathers combined with SHIELDBOW against these kind of high burst damage comps is going to be really useful. I'm actually going to highlight, I'm going to make an effort to try to highlight when SHIELDBOW comes into play. It may not really save your life every time, but even if it doesn't, you still get a lot more value, because with that shield you might be able to get out, you know, a couple more feathers, might get a bigger root or something like that. And either ways, obviously surviving longer is always going to be a good thing. It's never going to be a bad thing. And especially on Xayah, you know, when surviving longer can allow you to maybe kite back, get your ult back up or whatnot. I think it's an even bigger thing than on other champions, for example. So here, we're off to a pretty hot start. We're 2-0-1. Our whole team as a whole is doing well, actually. We're 5 kills for nothing currently on the scoreboard. And objectives are, of course, going to be spawning in half a minute. Here, what we're doing, since we have the wave pushed out already, we're actually roaming down and securing the skull to ensure that the enemy team doesn't have vision of us when we try to do the dragon. Looks like Camille's kind of interested in the dragon. She's coming towards this area. Now here you can see Twitch actually ran into our jungle. In my opinion, we should have all just focused the Twitch here. But, you know, here I get hit by Fizz's ulti. I'm going to actually ult to prevent myself from getting hit. Here Fizz gets chain CC, and here you can see Fizz is now on the back line just blasting me, which makes no sense here. Here you can see my SHIELDBOW is going to pop in a second, most likely. Maybe not yet. But yeah, this was absolutely insane. How did we not just turn around and kill the Twitch? So here you can see the SHIELDBOW blocking the Akali damage and basically allowing me to survive the Akali. Now, I still do end up dying to the Fizz eventually, but the point that I want to really make here is that if I didn't actually have SHIELDBOW in this instance, I would have actually just died to Akali there, and Fizz wouldn't even be needed to clean up my kill. And because of the fact that I'm still alive and Twitch gone for the kill on me, he's the enemy jungle. This actually gives my team a free dragon. So without the SHIELDBOW there, I would have died. Fizz would have been alive, and my team would probably go to the dragon, and Fizz might have a chance to steal the dragon, or he does have a chance to steal the dragon, although we would never know if he could have actually gotten that dragon. But that basically is my point, that SHIELDBOW actually does provide a lot of value. And even though I did die here, as I explained, SHIELDBOW brought so much value for my team. So yeah, but anyways, I think that we overall didn't play that fight really well. I felt that my whole team should have probably just turned around onto the Fizz, onto the Twitch. And the reason why I personally didn't do that is because I saw my team posturing, going for the chase on the other 2 enemy champions. And you know, basically, if we split up, and let's say I go for the Twitch and my team goes for the other 2, it's not going to be a good fight because it's going to be an even number fight on both fronts. So I was thinking that, you know, we could maybe take a 3v2 against the two people that my team is chasing, or, you know, if in an ideal world we could take a 3v1 against the two people that I'm chasing. Now here, honestly, I didn't really need to ult. I kind of just panic ulted against the Twitch, but honestly, Twitch with like a Phantom Dancer first item is not gonna kill me. Like, maybe Twitch with like a Storm Razor first item might be able to kill me, but Twitch with like a Bork or like a Phantom Dancer first item definitely cannot kill me. Alright, here 100 to 0. Twitch does not have the kind of damage to do that, so I probably could have just walked out, but I kind of just ulted in panic, which, you know, it does happen sometimes. Not a good thing at all, but it's probably going to be relatively inconsequential, because here you guys can see that I'm under no threat at all. The enemy team and my team, of course, fighting over the Herald, which they do manage to actually get. Here I actually end up picking up the tower as well as the solo tower gold. And my ult is already like 2/3 of the way back up. So most likely by the time the next fight occurs, I probably have my ult anyway. So overall, it shouldn't matter too much. Here I complete my Navori Quick Blades, and didn't realize this in the gameplay, but the enemy team has only 1 kill, and that's the kill that Fizz got on me. So we're actually kind of stomping them pretty hard at this point. We're actually 10k gold up, which of course in the game you couldn't see as well. But here on the replay, we can actually see that we're actually 10k gold up on the enemy team, which is pretty massive. Now here Volibear just trying to push the wave in, but you know, we don't know that we're 10k gold up, but we do know that we're insanely ahead. So me and Leona easily just dispatch that Volibear. Just like that, he gets caught by the Zenith Blade, and you know, he just straight up just goes down. Now here top wave is going in. On the way back to top, I'm gonna just pick up this skull on the way and head back to top to catch the wave. Now we can actually see Twitch roaming through his jungle toward the mid lane area. I'm pinging that he's missing around the Raptor camp area. So here we're just gonna catch this wave going into the tower so that we don't waste any resources. And yeah, so like I said, this is not a very exciting gameplay of Xayah. We're relatively fed, and our whole team is actually relatively fed, so this is kind of a very, very one-sided game. We have, you know, me 3-1-3, we have Camille 3-0-2, same KDA for Kale and Twisted Fate, you know, 1 more kill and 1 more assist, and Leona with, you know, 7 assists. So yeah, it's kind of a really one-sided game. It doesn't really look like it necessarily, but yeah, that's definitely the case here. So nothing too much honestly going on here. We're just basically taking advantage of the fact that we're really strong to force objectives. Now here you can see we went for the force in the mid tower, and here I'm actually calling to force the inhibitor, because you can see Jenna and Fizz are actually on the top lane. Now here Volibear and Akali are here, but if they overcommit into stopping us, we can actually just kill them. Now here Fizz is trying to ult and he's trying to do something, but look at this. He's not even doing very much damage. We're still relatively healthy. I'm gonna just pop the plant, pick up the fruit, and you know, I'm back to a really, really healthy state. Leona as well. We're control warding the side bush to ensure we don't, you know, get flanked on the top side. Of course, the Fizz and Jenna are already dead, so that's highly unlikely, but you know, there is a scenario where someone walks all the way around and tries to flank us. Now Volibear starts trolling. You can see him in our jungle. Twisted Fate actually TP's there to try to pick up the kill on him. Pretty much Volibear has given up on the game. He's running it down. And yeah. Honestly, it's kind of a waste of time for my team to go for Volibear. At this point, Volibear is 0, 6, and 0. He's not even worth that much gold. So actually committing a Twisted Fate ultimate to go for the Volibear is actually more worth for the Volibear than it is for us, strangely enough. Because whenever someone has, you know, no kills and like more than 5 deaths, it's almost never worth it to waste your ultimate on them. And it's not really worth it to waste your time on them as well, especially since he's kind of trolling by being, you know, near our base. So that actually pulls us away from where we need to be, which is objectives, which is enemy towers, and you know, forces our team to actually go and like get a free kill on him near the base, which actually it's a free kill, but it's actually not even worth, you know, the time and the effort to actually go all the way over there to kill him. So here once again I'm trying to force down the mid lane tower. You can see that we're slowly chipping away at the mid lane tower. We finally get the mid lane tower, and we can now just back off. Obviously the Nexus shield is going to activate, so there's no chance of us ending the game here. So we're just going to, you know, just gonna walk back and start pushing bot lane. Now here you can see Camille is going on to Volibear. Now I'm of course on the way to like you know, get a free kill, but also we need to push out the wave. So in this case we're not really wasting any time, because we need to basically push out this wave. Anyway, you can see that I only got 100 gold from Volibear, and as you guys know, a cannon minion is like 80 gold, so he's worth only barely more than a cannon minion. He's worth less than a full wave of minions, obviously. But yeah, that's why I'm saying he's not worth wasting your ultimate. He's not worth wasting your time. It's really more worth it if you just ignore him and just keep pushing. But you know, most people, you know, they'll be really tempted to just get more kills, pad the stats, have a better KDA, but in reality, it really isn't all that helpful. So now here we're trying to do the same kind of stunt on the bot lane tower as what we did in the mid lane tower. Me and Leona are just trying to force down that tower. Here you can see we have a wave. We're just basically trying to force it. And here you can see our team is backing us up. So we easily managed to force down the inhibitor tower in the bot lane as well. And pretty much at this point, the game is like won by this point already. Like, we have to have a colossal throw to actually lose this game. And here we're actually trying to get Nexus damage. Leona ends up dying. We get the counter kill onto the Akali. And here again, I'm chipping away at the Nexus. I'm trying to actually end the game here. Janna shields the Nexus. Here the Nexus is 300 HP, but we ran out of waves, and Kill ends up dying. Gives over a shutdown. And here, you know, my team's kind of throwing, semi-throwing here. It's not so bad. We didn't get aced, but that was pretty bad. So here, the Twisted Fate is backing. Fizz tries to come in for some reason, and here, and I'm able to basically just finish off the kill onto him, and Twisted Fate is able to basically run away. I'm out of mana. If I had mana here, I honestly would take this 2v2, even though Twisted Fate is 1 HP. I would take the 2v2 against Twitch as well as the Janna, because we know that Janna doesn't have summoner spells. We know that Twitch already used his ultimate just now, so it's a really easy to win fight if I had the mana, but unfortunately I don't. So anyways, here what we're doing is we're of course buying ourselves our Phantom Dancer, 300 power spike now. Honestly, there's almost no way we lose this game unless we throw. It's actually, at this point, it's a 15k gold lead. Once again, we realized in the game that we're kind of stomping them, but I didn't realize that it was like by 15k. But anyways, here we basically had enough of this game. We're just gonna go ahead, pick up the Baron, and use the Baron to pretty much just end the game. Textbook stuff here. Volibear is inting once again. I'm not wasting any time here by killing him. I'm just going to pick up another free kill for the stats. Because my team is pushing with the wave. Anyways, the main limiting factor here is the waves. So I'm just going to walk here with the last cannon minion. And off of this, we should be able to just end the game. My team is just chasing after the Twitch to get another kill. Not too big of a deal here, honestly. Here, it's just basically a 2v2. And there's no way that they win this 2v2. So here, Jen actually pushes the minion out of the turret range and forces me to take a tower shot, but again, it doesn't matter. Here I'm just going to focus the base, just going to end the game, and there we have it. As I said, the next Xayah gameplay I'm going to be posting is going to be a lot more exciting later today, but I'll leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.